The environmental crisis is a child's rights crisis. UNICEF is gravely concerned about the rising number of children exposed to unsafe environments, including those caused by climate change. While exposure harms everyone, children are disproportionately vulnerable to environmental risks due to their unique and rapid stage of development. More than 1.7 million children under the age of 5 lose their lives every year because of avoidable environmental impacts, while millions more suffer disease, disability, and permanent forms of harm. For example, approximately 1 in 3 children, up to 800 million globally, have blood lead levels at or above 5 micrograms per deciliter, a level that has lifelong impacts on children. About 300 million children live in areas where the air is toxic, exceeding international limits by at least 6 times. And almost every child is now exposed to at least one climate or environmental shock globally, with 1 billion children considered extremely high risk to the impacts of climate change. Children's access to a safe, clean, healthy, and sustainable environment is essential for their physical, mental, and social development, from infancy into adulthood, and for the realization of all their rights. Children are claiming their rights and demanding urgent action, but children are frequently left behind when it comes to their meaningful participation in environmental decision-making and action. In the face of these barriers, millions of children and young people across the world have fundamentally changed the face of the environmental movement, demanding urgent action to secure their right to a healthy environment. As we approach ecological tipping points and as the world seeks to emerge from the COVID-19 crisis, we believe that it is our obligation to listen to them and to place their rights at the center of our efforts to build a healthy and sustainable future. The right to a healthy environment for children is a priority for UNICEF. To support the realization of children's rights to a healthy environment, UNICEF recently launched our global program framework on healthy environments for healthy children, which aggregated available evidence on the impact of pollution and climate change on child development. This framework identifies how UNICEF will help caregivers, the health sector, governments, and various stakeholders take multi-sectoral advocacy and action to deliver results for children's health and well-being. UNICEF is also expanding programmatic work in this area. We are working in countries around the world to protect children's health from environmental degradation and climate change, with a particular focus on pollution's impact to children's health, net zero health systems, and improving primary healthcare systems to adapt to climate change. We are working with governments to ensure that children's rights are reflected in climate, environment, and health policies and action. For example, the Intergovernmental Declaration on Children and Youth and Climate Action, signed by over 30 governments, outlines concrete steps that governments can make to recognize the right to a healthy environment. UNICEF is calling for child-focused adaptation to be a centerpiece of all climate, environment, and health policies as a matter of the highest priority through the creation and implementation of child-centered climate adaptation plans. These adaptation plans must cover child-critical sectors, construct the adaptive capacity of children in their communities, and to consult and include children and capitalize on innovative and alternative funding. Recognition of the human right to a safe, clean, healthy, and sustainable environment by the General Assembly is imperative to protect children's rights. The universal recognition of the right to a safe, clean, healthy, and sustainable environment will be imperative if states are to live up to their commitments to protect people and the planet. UNICEF fully supports the recognition of the human right to a safe, clean, healthy, and sustainable environment, and welcomes the recognition of the right by the Human Rights Council in 2021, which represented a major advancement for children's rights globally and a message to children that their voices have been heard. UNICEF now calls on member states to make complete the recognition at the General Assembly. We firmly believe that such recognition will result in greater protection of children's rights. It is necessary to support states in developing stronger and more coherent environmental protection laws and policies, and to empower rights holders, including children, to hold governments to account. I'm looking forward to the roundtable discussions today to take stock of where we are to date, as well as looking at how a General Assembly recognition will reflect on the benefits of healthy children as rights holders around the world. But first, it's important that we hear from the youth themselves, represented today in a video by the youth climate change activist, Adriana from Bolivia. Thank you.